Take a deep breath. Inhale peace. Exhale resistance. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart open. You are exactly where you are meant to be. There is nothing to fix, nothing to force. Today I invite you to relax, because when you relax, you allow. And when you allow, even the impossible begins to take shape. The universe works best through flow, not force. This is not just a comforting idea, it's a deep spiritual truth. When we begin to understand the natural rhythms of life, we see that everything in nature flows. Rivers do not push. Trees do not hurry. The sun does not rush to rise, nor does the moon resist setting. And yet everything unfolds with breathtaking precision and beauty. So why do we, the very beings who are part of this universe, believe that we must force, chase, and strain to receive what is already meant for us? When we operate from a place of force, we are moving against the current. We are pushing, demanding, insisting, and in doing so, we close ourselves off from the greater intelligence of the universe. Forcing is rooted in fear. It whispers, if I don't control this, it won't happen. It tightens the body, clouds the mind, and creates resistance in our energy field. It blocks the natural flow of blessings and miracles because we are trying to manage what only divine timing and infinite wisdom can orchestrate. Flow, on the other hand, is rooted in trust. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things with the right energy. It's inspired action rather than desperate effort. When you are in flow, you are aligned with the essence of life itself. You are saying, I trust that what is meant for me will come. I am open. I am willing. I am guided. In this state, things begin to unfold with grace. The right people appear. The right opportunities arise. The ideas you need come to you with clarity and ease. Most of the struggle we experience in life comes from trying to control things that are not ours to control. We want to dictate the timing, the outcome, the form, and the process. But in trying to micromanage the universe, we shrink our capacity to receive. We limit the possibilities to only what we can imagine, forgetting that the universe has an infinite toolbox, far beyond our limited perspective. The truth is, you can't force love. You can't force healing. You can't force abundance. You can only align with it. You can only prepare yourself to receive it by softening, trusting, and allowing. You plant the seed, you water it with faith, and then you let it grow in its own time. Forcing is like digging up the soil every day to see if the roots have taken hold. It only delays the growth. But flow says, I've done my part. Now I trust life to do the rest. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is to step back and say, I don't have to make this happen through sheer willpower. I only need to show up with clarity, commitment, and calm energy. Flow doesn't mean apathy. It doesn't mean giving up. It means being wise enough to know when to act and when to surrender, when to speak and when to be silent, when to move and when to rest. When you are in flow, your actions are powerful because they come from a place of alignment. You are not chasing, you are attracting. You are not pleading, you are allowing. You are not grasping, you are receiving. That's the divine rhythm the universe understands and responds to. Think back on the moments in your life when things fell into place seemingly without effort. Maybe you met someone unexpectedly who changed your life. Maybe a job offer came just when you needed it. Maybe an idea hit you out of nowhere that opened a door you didn't even know existed. These are not coincidences. These are the results of flow, of being energetically available for miracles. We are not here to force the journey. We are here to remember that we are co-creators with a loving and intelligent universe. When we relax into that truth, we begin to see the magic again. We begin to move with life instead of against it. And in that space of ease and surrender, we find that what once seemed impossible begins to unfold naturally. Flow requires patience. It requires listening to your intuition. It asks you to be still long enough to hear the soft whispers of guidance that only come when the mind is quiet and the heart is open. It means letting go of the timeline and embracing divine timing, knowing that delays are not denials. They are often sacred pauses for preparation, protection, or redirection. So today, give yourself permission to release the struggle. Take a breath. Let go of the tension. You are not falling behind. You are not forgotten. You are simply being led by a wisdom far greater than your own. Trust the flow. Trust the pauses. Trust the unfolding. The universe is always working with you, not against you. And when you allow life to lead, you will find that even your greatest dreams manifest, not through force, but through effortless, divine flow. Your desires are already on their way. The moment you felt the yearning in your heart, the moment the idea lit up in your mind, the moment your soul whispered, "I want this," the universe began moving, not in some far-off, distant way, but right here and now, beneath the surface of what you can see. It may feel like nothing is happening, but rest assured, everything is happening. Desire is a sacred spark. You did not create it alone. It was placed in you by the very same energy that created the stars, the oceans, and the mountains. The desire is your soul recognizing something that already exists in the energetic realm. You wouldn't even be able to imagine it if it wasn't meant for you. It's not a random thought or a fleeting wish. It's a calling, a promise, a signpost leading you towards something your heart already knows is real. So many people give up too soon. They look around and say, "But I don't see it yet." They doubt the process. They doubt themselves. They look at the outside world and assume that if something hasn't arrived physically, then it must not be working. But manifestation doesn't begin in the physical world. It begins in the invisible, the mental, emotional, and spiritual planes. The physical is simply the last step. Imagine ordering something online. You place the order, you receive a confirmation, and you trust it's on its way. You don't sit by the front door in panic. You don't email the company every hour asking if it's still coming. You trust, you get on with your day. You make space in your home for it. You feel excited about its arrival. That's the energy of true receiving. That's how you treat your desires. You don't beg for them. You prepare for them. Just because you can't see the evidence yet doesn't mean nothing is happening. Some of the most powerful shifts are happening behind the scenes. The universe is aligning the right people, the right timing, the right opportunities. It's shaping you into the version of yourself who is ready to hold what you've asked for. Sometimes there are delays, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Not to frustrate you, but to shape you. Because when your desire arrives, it deserves a version of you who is whole, confident, and open to receive. There is divine intelligence at work, and it responds not to fear or control, but to trust, joy, and alignment. You don't need to force your way into your future. You don't need to manipulate circumstances or chase outcomes. Your only job is to align with the version of you who already has what you desire. Feel it, live it, speak as if it's already done. Walk as if the answer is already yes, because energetically it is. Your desires are not separate from you. They are not outside of you. They are already a part of your vibration. You magnetize them not by doing more, but by becoming more trusting, more loving, more joyful. Let go of the doubt. Let go of the questioning. Let go of the timeline. Focus instead on becoming the person who is ready. Focus on peace. Focus on gratitude. Gratitude is the energy of already having. The truth is, your desire is on its way, not just because you want it, but because it wants you. It is looking for you, calling to you, moving toward you as much as you are moving toward it. There is no dream too big, no timeline too long, no mistake too great to cancel your blessings. What is meant for you cannot miss you. What is truly yours is drawn to you like a magnet, and every step you take in trust brings it closer. This is your reminder to relax. You don't have to keep checking for signs. You don't have to keep asking if it's real. You don't have to convince anyone or even yourself. Just breathe. Stay open. Stay grounded. Let the universe do what it does best. Deliver in ways far more magical than you could ever imagine. The desire in your heart is not an accident. It is your roadmap. It is your guidance. It is already in motion. The more you trust, the more you see evidence. The more you celebrate the little things, the faster the big things arrive. The more you feel it as already done, the more quickly it manifests in form. So stop worrying about how or when. That's not your job. Your job is to know that it's already yours. Your job is to feel worthy, to feel ready, to allow. You are not waiting, you are aligning. You are not chasing, you are attracting. The life you dream of is not a fantasy. It's a reality that is unfolding moment by moment. And every breath you take in trust brings it closer. Your desires are already on their way. Trust that, believe that, live like that. Resistance blocks, allowing attracts. This simple truth holds the key to unlocking the life you desire. We live in a universe that is always listening, always responding, always arranging. It is not biased or withholding. It does not play favorites. It simply reflects back to you the vibration you hold. And the moment you begin to resist, through fear, doubt, overthinking, or trying to control, you begin to block the very good that is trying to find its way to you. Resistance is a closed door. It says, I don't trust, I'm afraid it won't work out, I need to handle this all by myself. It feels heavy, tense, and filled with struggle. When you are in resistance, you may feel like you're doing everything right, taking action, working hard, even saying affirmations, but nothing seems to flow. That's because the energy underneath your efforts is rooted in doubt and fear. And the universe doesn't respond to your words alone. It responds to the energy behind them. Allowing, on the other hand, is open. It says, I trust life, I trust the process. I don't have to know exactly how it will happen. I just know that it will. It feels light, calm, peaceful, and magnetic. When you are in a state of allowing, you stop pushing and start flowing. You become a match for the very thing you desire. Not through force, but through ease, not by chasing it down, but by letting it come. But resistance often shows up when we try to control every detail. We think if we can just force things into place, we'll feel safe. But that control is an illusion. The more we grip, the more we repel. Control says, I don't believe this will come to me unless I manipulate it. But allowing says, I'm open to receive. I've already asked. Now I'll trust the unfolding. The beautiful thing is, you don't have to earn what is already yours by divine right. You don't have to prove your worthiness. You were born worthy. You simply need to align. That means becoming a clear, open channel for the good that is trying to reach you. And that happens when you let go of the inner struggle and allow things to be. Allowing does not mean doing nothing. It means doing from a place of peace. It means listening to your intuition and taking inspired action, not frantic, fearful, desperate action. It means resting when you're tired, asking for help when you need it, and believing in divine timing even when it looks like nothing is happening. That's where miracles are born. In the stillness, in the surrender, in the space between effort and trust. Think about how water flows. It doesn't resist the riverbanks. It doesn't try to climb uphill. It simply moves with ease, finding its way around every obstacle. It trusts gravity. It trusts its own nature. That's how you were designed to live. Not in battle with life, but in partnership with it. Not by resisting what is, but by allowing what wants to be. Resistance also shows up in the form of negative self-talk. When you say, it's too late for me, I never get what I want, things never work out, you are affirming your own blocks. The universe responds not to your hopes, but to your beliefs. So if you want to attract something new, you must first allow yourself to believe that it's possible. You must become emotionally available to receive it. Begin to replace resistance with gentle allowing. When doubt creeps in, say, I choose to trust. When fear rises, say, I am safe to receive. When you feel the need to force an outcome, take a breath and say, I surrender the how. I trust in the perfect unfolding. These small shifts create powerful momentum. They open the door to flow. When you allow, you invite, you become magnetic. You become aligned with joy, with love, with abundance. You stop working against the current of your own blessings. You step out of the way and let the universe do what it does best. Deliver exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, in ways more beautiful than you could have imagined. You don't need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't need to make it all happen alone. You are supported, you are guided, and when you relax, when you trust, when you allow, you receive, not by force, not by fear, but by grace. Let this be your reminder. Resistance is not your natural state. You were made to flow. You were made to trust. You were made to receive. So soften your heart, quiet your mind, and open your hands. The more you allow, the more the universe can give. You are not here to struggle. You are here to allow your life to unfold with peace, power, and purpose. Calm confidence is not loud. It doesn't demand attention, approval, or validation. It simply is. It lives in the quiet knowing that you are enough as you are. It doesn't need to prove, chase, or convince. Instead, it radiates from within. A steady, grounded energy that whispers, I trust myself. I trust life. I trust the path unfolding before me. This kind of confidence is powerful because it's unshakable. It isn't built on ego, appearance, or external achievements. It's not dependent on who notices you or who applauds you. It's born from deep self-awareness and inner peace. You arrive at calm confidence not by becoming someone new, but by remembering who you've always been before the world tried to make you forget. When you embody calm confidence, you no longer operate from fear. You are not rushed by anxiety, pressured by comparison, or crippled by self-doubt. You learn to be still and to listen. You learn that your worth is not tied to your performance, your past, or your popularity. It comes from simply being. You understand that you are not here to compete or impress, but to express the truth of your soul. There is great strength in quietness. In a world full of noise, the calm one often becomes the most magnetic. Because calm confidence doesn't need to shout, it simply shines. People feel it in your presence, in your posture, in your tone. You walk into a room and something about you says, I belong here, without ever needing to say a word. That is the power of inner alignment. You stop begging for love because you are love. You stop forcing outcomes because you trust timing. You stop doubting your choices because you've made peace with the fact that even mistakes are part of your growth. Calm confidence allows you to live without the constant need for approval because your validation comes from within. This is not arrogance. It's not a mask or a performance. It's not about pretending to have it all together. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the quiet acceptance of all that you are, flaws, fears, and all. It's knowing that even on your worst day, you are still worthy. Even when things fall apart, you are still whole. You trust yourself, not because you always know what to do, but because you know you will always find your way. Calm confidence helps you navigate life's challenges with grace. You don't react, you respond. You don't explode, you observe. You don't collapse under pressure, you breathe through it. You understand that panic never solves problems, peace does. And when others lose themselves in chaos, you become the steady center. You hold your energy, your boundaries, your truth. This confidence empowers you to speak your truth without aggression and to stand up for yourself without defensiveness. You don't need to dominate. You don't need to belittle others to feel big. You rise by lifting, by listening, by leading with compassion. You learn that being grounded doesn't make you weak. It makes you unstoppable. When you trust yourself deeply, you also trust life more. You begin to see that everything is happening for your highest good. Delays don't scare you. Rejections don't break you. Setbacks don't define you. Because you know that no matter what comes, you will remain anchored in your own light. You've faced storms before, and you've survived them all. That wisdom becomes your power. Calm confidence transforms your relationships. You no longer cling, chase, or settle. You understand your value, and you no longer tolerate anything that dishonors it. You communicate with clarity, not control. You love with depth, not dependency. You allow others to be who they are because you no longer need anyone to complete you. You are already whole. This energy also opens doors. When you show up with quiet assurance, the world takes notice. Opportunities find you. People are drawn to your presence, not because you're loud, but because you're authentic. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. You become a magnet for the right experiences, the right connections, and the right outcomes, not by chasing them, but by becoming a match for them. So breathe deeply, drop your shoulders. Let go of the need to prove anything. You are enough. You are safe. You are guided. The more you return to your center, the more you remember your strength. The calmest person in the room is often the most powerful, not because they've mastered themselves. Let your calm be your confidence. Let your peace be your power. Let your presence speak louder than words. You don't have to do more, be more, or try harder. Just be, just trust. Just allow your inner light to lead the way. That's where your true power lives. In the quiet certainty that you are already everything you've been searching for. Miracles happen in spaciousness, not chaos. They do not emerge from a cluttered mind, a frantic heart, or a soul overwhelmed by the noise of the world. Miracles are subtle, gentle, sacred occurrences. They require openness, stillness, and surrender. When your life is filled with constant doing, constant planning, constant striving, you leave no room for the unexpected, the magical, or the divine to unfold. The universe does not rush. It does not scream for attention or force itself into tight corners. It waits patiently for you to slow down, to breathe, to soften your grip. Miracles are not forced. They are received. And to receive, you must become available. You must clear space in your mind, in your energy, and in your life. So many people ask for transformation while holding tightly to their old ways. They crave peace, yet fill their days with drama and distraction. They long for clarity, but never make time for silence. They want guidance, but never pause long enough to hear it. Miracles cannot find their way into a mind that is already crowded with fear, doubt, control, and busyness. Spaciousness is an invitation. It is a sacred openness that says, I am ready to receive. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I trust that something beautiful is coming. When you declutter your inner world, you create a sacred space for the divine to enter. You release the noise of the ego and tune into the gentle wisdom of your soul. Creating spaciousness means letting go, not only of physical clutter, but also of emotional baggage, limiting beliefs, and outdated stories. It means releasing the need to control every outcome and allowing life to surprise you. It means choosing peace over urgency, trust over fear, and presence over perfection. When you let go of trying to force everything, you discover that the very things you were chasing begin to flow effortlessly toward you. In spaciousness, there is time to notice the synchronicities. There is room to hear the whispers of your intuition. There is space for joy to rise naturally, for love to bloom without pressure, for answers to appear without struggle. The miracle may come as a sudden idea, a chance meeting, a breakthrough moment, or a deep inner knowing. But it always requires space to be noticed, received, and embraced. When your life is rooted in chaos, everything becomes reactive. You are constantly putting out fires, constantly rushing, constantly trying to keep up. In that state, you cannot access the higher guidance that is always available to you. Chaos disconnects you from your truth. It pulls you into survival mode. It keeps you running on empty. But spaciousness reconnects you. It grounds you. It reminds you that you are not alone, not behind, and not without support. Spaciousness is not laziness or inaction. It is intentional rest, deep listening, and conscious surrender. It is choosing not to fill every moment with tasks, every silence with noise, every emotion with distraction. It is the courage to be still when the world says you must hustle. It is the power to say no to chaos so that you can say yes to miracles. When you make space, you begin to notice what truly matters. You become more aligned, more intuitive, more magnetic. You attract with ease because your energy is calm, open, and inviting. You stop chasing, and instead you become a powerful receiver. This is where the real magic happens, not in your busyness, but in your stillness. Not in your chaos, but in your calm. Start small. Begin by creating little pockets of spaciousness in your day. A few moments of deep breathing, a quiet walk in nature, turning off the noise and simply sitting with your thoughts. Let these moments be sacred. Let them be enough. You don't need hours. You need presence. And presence can turn any moment into a portal for miracles. You are not meant to live in constant overwhelm. You are meant to live in flow. And flow requires space. Let go of what weighs you down. Say goodbye to the habits and people that keep you spinning. Clear your calendar. Clear your mind. Clear your energy. Then watch what enters the space you've made. The universe is always ready to meet you. But you must make room for the meeting. You must quiet the chaos long enough to hear the invitation. You must become willing to receive without struggle. Miracles are real, they are waiting, but they need space to land. Create that space and trust that the miracle will come. Softly, beautifully, and right on time. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the seen. It is the quiet, unwavering knowing that what you desire already exists, even if you can't yet touch it with your hands or see it with your eyes. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is a deep spiritual certainty. It's the power that connects your heart's deepest dreams to the reality waiting to unfold. There is a realm beyond what we can perceive. It is the place where ideas form, where energy moves, where intentions begin to shape matter. Just because you cannot see something does not mean it doesn't exist. The wind moves the trees, though you cannot see the wind. Love can be felt deeply even when no words are spoken. Likewise, the future you desire is already forming in the unseen, and faith is what draws it toward you. You don't have to know how. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to trust. Faith steps in when logic stops. It's what keeps you going when you're tired, what whispers, "Keep believing," when everything outside you seems unchanged. Faith is a choice to believe that the universe is working for you, not against you. It's the decision to trust that your prayers are heard, your intentions are seen, and your path is unfolding perfectly, even if it's not in the way you expected. Without faith, it's easy to fall into fear. It's easy to look at what's missing, what's broken, or what hasn't happened yet and begin to doubt. But doubt is the voice of the limited mind, and faith is the song of the limitless soul. Faith doesn't ask for proof, it creates the proof. It speaks with the authority of the unseen because it knows that energy always precedes manifestation. What you believe in your heart begins to take shape in your world. Every great transformation begins with faith. Before the healed body, there was the belief in healing. Before the loving relationship, there was the trust that love was possible. Before the dream career, there was the inner vision. You must walk the bridge of faith before the physical evidence appears. And the more you trust, the stronger the bridge becomes. There will be moments when nothing seems to be changing. Moments when it feels like you're waiting in silence. But that silence is not empty, it's sacred. It's the space where miracles are forming. In that space, your faith is tested not to break you, but to build you. The universe is asking, do you still believe even when it looks like nothing is happening? When you answer yes, even with trembling hands, you activate a power far greater than you can imagine. Faith brings you into alignment with the frequency of your desires. It shifts your energy from doubt to certainty, from anxiety to peace, from resistance to allowing. It moves you out of survival mode and into creation mode. When you live in faith, you begin to speak differently, think differently, act differently. You no longer ask, will it happen, but instead declare, it is happening. That declaration becomes a magnet. It calls forth the people, opportunities, and events needed to bring your vision to life. Living with faith doesn't mean pretending to have it all figured out. It means trusting the process, even when the road is unclear. It means surrendering control and leaning into divine timing. It means knowing that delays are not denials, and that every closed door is guiding you to something better. Faith does not remove the challenges, but it transforms how you move through them. With faith, you meet every obstacle with grace, every delay with patience, and every detour with curiosity. To strengthen your faith, nurture your inner world. Surround yourself with uplifting words, images, and energy. Speak life over your dreams. Affirm what you desire, not what you fear. Spend time in stillness, in prayer, in connection with the part of you that already knows you are supported. And above all, be gentle with yourself. Faith is a practice, not a perfection. Some days your belief will feel strong, other days it may feel like a flicker. But even the smallest spark of faith can ignite miracles. Remember, you are never walking alone. Every step you take in faith is met with support from the universe. The invisible is constantly shaping the visible. What you hold in your heart is already being prepared in your reality. So take a breath, release the fear, and walk the bridge. Let faith carry you across. Let it guide you from where you are to where you're meant to be. What you seek is seeking you, and it is your faith that will bring it home.